some team says, hey, we can work with this guy.
I mean, honestly.
But is it a mistake going against?
I think he still has a lot of talent.
But
I think he's just kind of pushed out now. He's never had a quarterback to throw him.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think they're disrespecting Ryan Tannehill because to me, Ryan Tannehill, say what you want to say about the Miami.
You can disrespect Tannehill as much as you want if you got a chance to get Tom Brady.
Oh, no. But I mean, but is this a 1 year?
Especially when you got Vrabel in the house who's. At his knees for the Patriots culture.
It's not as clear cut for me. It's not as clear cut to me. Out of all the teams, that's a team. If I'm the general manager, I don't go after Tom Brady. Jameis Winston's not a great option in Tampa. Super inconsistent. Throws too many picks. The Raiders, Derek Carr has been terrible the last few years. Okay, he's obviously not turning around, getting back to that old form when they made the playoffs. It doesn't look like it's happening. All right. Chargers have a vacancy. Phillip Rivers is gone. I'm not sure if I believe in Tyrod Taylor. I've always been kind of anti. I don't hate the guy, but I don't think he's a good quarterback.
He's a good backup quarterback.
He's a good backup. But to me, Ryan fucking Tannehill was outstanding last year. They were one half from, getting to the Super Bowl, basically. I mean, it's a pretty fucking good team, man. This is a good football team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I change a lot of shit. I maybe upgrade, give Ryan Tannehill his money, because, I mean, Tannehill's in his early 30s. Brady, if he plays 1 year and you don't win a Super Bowl, he might just say, fuck it. I don't want to go back to Nashville. It got cold there after November. It was kind of a boring city. I'm not a country music guy. I'm going to go there 1 year and then I'm going to leave. Because there's talks that they might franchise Derrick Henry for 1 year. You know what I'm saying? So you're playing, to me, all of a sudden for 1 year. And I'm not saying they can't retain Derrick Henry beyond that. But to me, I want to keep the winning window open. To me, Ryan Tannehill, if you better this team around him, a little more slight upgrades, I think this team can get to the Super Bowl. I don't think it was a fluke this year. I mean, I don't know. Tom Brady to me, and I get what you're saying, they are the most talented team out that group, but the Chargers aren't that far behind. And the Raiders are more talented than what people think, and they have a lot of cap space, and they have good draft capital.
But
you know what I mean?
But
same with the Tampa. Tampa's in that same boat almost as the Raiders.
Tennessee's not 1,000% sold on Tannehill.
I don't know why they wouldn't be, though.
And you got a chance at a guy that's won 6 championships.
Well, I get it, but he might only play 1 year. I mean, why would you not take Tannehill for 4 or 5 years?
They might be ready to blow it out to try to win that title.
But, I mean, you go do that. I mean, Kansas City tried to do that shit with Joe Montana back in the day. It wasn't a 1 year deal.
They might feel their ceiling's capped at where they made it this year.
But do you look at a Kansas City situation? Now, I know Montana got hurt with a back injury, but that was a disaster for Kansas City. It took them a while to recover from that. You know what I mean? They went all in on Joe Montana. And, late, I don't know, man. I'm scared of these guys. Like, if I'm a team, look, I mean, we love Drew Brees. Obviously, the Patriots fans love Tom Brady. But I think when these guys go to other teams, it's a little bit worrisome this late in their career. You do still have to learn a new system, as smart as they are. You know what I mean? I just don't know if I trust it, man. I don't know if I trust it. You good, man? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
What's up, man? What's up?
No, I'm good.
You like some woman's walking around there naked or something, man?
Where?
I don't know. The way you looking over there, man. I thought something was happening like that.
Anywho, Mr. Nelson says he thinks that he's going to go to the Colts, but
that's an intriguing thing, too.
I have it on high authority.
Well, Phillip Rivers,
Rivers is locked to go to the Colts.
But they keep saying that. But is that true though?
Everybody's saying it.
I know they say it, but how often is everybody wrong?
There's a lot of smoke in the air.
There was a lot of people saying LeBron was going to New York back in the day. There was a lot of people saying
people were saying it before the combine, after the combine.
Where was Antonio Brown heading so many times? I mean, the Raiders weren't the first fucking option. You know what I'm saying? I don't buy it until it happens. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm not saying I would bet against it. But to me, like Nelson's saying, the Colts are actually a team to me that's very intriguing to go all in for 1 year for Brady, because they still have Jacoby Brissett as a backup. You know what I'm saying? They have a backup plan. Brissett to me is not a guy that's going to win you a Super Bowl by himself, but I like that team. They have a lot of cap space. They have some decent draft capital. They've got good players. T.Y. Hilton's got to bounce back from injury. You got Marlon Mack. There's some weapons there. Pretty damn good offensive line with Quentin Nelson and those guys up front and Ryan Kelly. Defense is a couple pieces away, but they can go get that in free agency. I mean, there's a lot of defensive linemen out there. Eric Armstead's out there. They can go get some DB help. Maybe another linebacker. There's a lot of players out there that they can go poach.
The Colts have a lot of free agent bucks.
They do. And speaking of bucks, so does Tampa. But you know what? Tampa's intriguing, but I don't think he'll end up there. You know why? The organization's been so fucking poorly ran for years. I like Tampa's talent. I'll tell you this, Tampa to me is an edge rusher and 2 killer DBs away from being a playoff team. I really believe that. And maybe an upgrade in offensive line or 2.
Honestly, I would roll with Winston 1 more year. I don't know why they're looking for every quarterback under the sun. I'm not sure most of the guys that are out there are a definite improvement over Winston. Winston will keep you in games. He'll lose games for you, but he got the eye surgery.
Maybe that's something that's to be said.
He's going to be the second year in Arians' offense.
Big difference. He needs a little bit of help on the offensive line, too.
And they have weapons that perfectly mesh with what he does.
I told that guy, Souls buddy, a while back. He doubted me in like week 2. I said that's the best receiving duo in the league, and I stand by it to this day. I know Stephon Diggs and Thielen are bad motherfuckers, but Chris Godwin and Mike Evans could be a number one fit almost like 90% of the teams out there.
And I like some of their tertiary options too. I like Justin Watson, that little Scotty Miller guy can ball a little bit.
Speed.
He can fly.
He's got speed. Yeah.
Perriman's probably going to get a contract from somebody.
Howard doesn't get used, but he's a talented tight end.
Exactly.
And that front seven's pretty good. Vita Vea, Devin White. There's some talent there. If they can go in the draft,
Vita Vea broke out all over the place.
I look at them at Grant Delpit.
I think they're going to re-sign.
Shaq Barrett.
Shaq Barrett, exactly.
What about, doesn't that team make sense to go get that? Remember, they missed out on Derwin James. They were supposedly really high on Derwin James and thinking about moving up or doing whatever to get him. I don't think they fuck it up again this year. They can't fuck it up twice. And the problem is now, Todd Bowles is such a smart guy. He could have that playmaking safety like a Grant Delpit from LSU. That could be a huge pickup for them. If they can get a corner or two in free agency, get a Grant Delpit, upgrade the line a little bit, I think Ronald Jones might be the running back. I really do. They could maybe get one of these other cut candidates, from another team, a veteran running back. I would give Ronald Jones another year. I think Tampa's better off than what people think, especially with that great brain trust with Bruce Arians and Todd Bowles.
I believe they're going to draft a running back in the second round.
Well, that's intriguing. It could happen.
And in the first round, what they need to do is they need to get one of these tackles because they need help on the line.
They need help. But now there's some free agents. There's a lot of interior linemen available as well. And this is a very rich do you go after Brandon Scherff?
They have 5
from,
solid
Washington.
top half of the first tackles in this draft. They need to see about getting their hands on.
But could you even see Tampa poaching Andrews Pete from the Saints? You know what I'm saying? To go play in the interior. They got money to spend. Pete's an imposing guy. Maybe he wants to stick it to the Saints. And he's not going to be back probably here in New Orleans. He's going to be too expensive. I'm just saying they could go get 2 starters, go get a corner in free agency. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, they should focus on the draft because Tampa is the place where free agents go to die.
Well,
they have a horrible history signing free agents.
They do because they get guys on the downside of their career like Jason Pierre-Paul. You know what I'm saying? They make these stupid-ass decisions like that. But I don't know, man. Tampa to me is interesting. I don't think Brady goes there, though. The Raiders are intriguing as well. Josh Jacobs, Darren Waller, there's some talent on defense, good offensive line.
And the Raiders
money to spend.
And the Raiders don't owe Derek Carr any guaranteed money, so they cut him. They're free and clear of him.
And Las Vegas, you think Brady might not say, hey, Vegas football is here. What bigger superstar to bring to Las Vegas than the biggest superstar in the league the past 20 years?
If Brady feels like he can win with that
John
team.
Gruden, he might say, hey, John Gruden, you're my dude. Give me an AJ Green. Go spend the money on an AJ Green. I got Darren Waller, one of the top 5 tight ends in the league. I got Josh Jacobs, who's a budding star. A really good offensive line. Really good line. Defense has some pieces. They're still not there, but they could go upgrade it through the draft, through free agency. Tom Brady might say, fuck it. You know what I mean? He might go to it. What's funny? The Vegas, I think, is a little intriguing. I think it's a little bit of a sleeper pick. Chargers, obviously closer to home for him. He's a California native. Chargers are another team. They got a weird situation. They got a ton of free agents, so they got some decisions to make.
Well, if they want to get them, they better sign some offensive linemen because that offensive line was a sieve last year.
I like their defense, though. I love their young talent with Bosa and James. I like the receivers with Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Hunter Henry. If he comes back, that'd be a great group of receivers. I think even if they keep Eckler over Gordon, because he's going to be probably more cost-effective and younger, I like that team, man. If they do upgrade the line, draft offensive line, do whatever you got to do, pick up some budget-friendly linemen.
If they let Gordon go, they can draft a running back in the 3rd round. Yeah.
Go put somebody in there with Eckler. Maybe get a more physical guy to go alongside Eckler,
Because after seeing this underwear Olympics, known as the Combine, there is definitely at least one running back that's going in the 1st round.
Well, here's my thing.
A guy by the name of Jonathan Taylor.
Who
blazed the sub 4.4 in the 40 after being pretty much the leading rusher of all time in college history.
See, this is why I don't do mock drafts in January. You know why? I've seen mock drafts have this guy as the 3rd or 4th running back taken. I've seen DeAndre Swift is the top back in every mock draft.
That's poppycock. This is
poppycock. You know why?
To Saquon Barkley,
why?
That's come out in the last 10 years.
Now, I don't think he'll go that high. I think
he's not
going to
get drafted that high because Barkley had the receiving prowess that made him
Barkley's
like
a fucking
video game.
But here's my thing.
But as far as the pure running,
but this is why I don't do mock drafts that early.
One of the best. One of the best
you
prospects
see Mel Kiper and McShay, those fucking idiots. All right, they put out these mock drafts in January.
Mm-hmm.
Free agency is going to have so much to dictate there. So is the combine. You know what I'm saying? You've seen guys fall off a cliff or rise 2 rounds over a combine before. You know what I mean? And sometimes you got to be careful. No. You know, I mean, because sometimes it's a fucking disaster.
Honestly,
Blaine Gabbert had a good combine and jumped in the
with
first round.
With prospects, you got to watch the film first, and then just make sure that their athletics meet a certain threshold. You can't have a guys running 5 flats, but you like their film because they have to have a certain threshold of a athletic ability, but. If the film's there and they pressed out, as good to excellent athletes, because a lot of guys they test out of the, they out the box, and then you watch their film and it looks like they're running in mud.
Yeah, well,
they don't know how to process the game.
No, they're good at running. They'd be the best at exercising, but they can't play football. That's the thing. I mean, but DK Metcalf, we saw enough at DK, and he was injured a lot at Ole Miss, but we saw enough on the field. He did some amazing shit. He was in a great receiving group over there, while he was there. But he did enough on the field to say, hey, this dude can play. And then he gets to the combine, and he looks like Hulk Hogan that can run a 4.3 or whatever he ran. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just don't ask him to run around cones.
Well, hey, fucking cone drill. Well, Alvin Kamara, I don't think even had a good cone drill. I mean, like...
It's funny that guys this year are having their worst cone drills because they were doing it at 12 o'clock Eastern.
Oh, really?
They were running cones at 12 o'clock Eastern.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, so they said it's like the worst they've ever tested in agility drills.
So, like, they got a whistle, hey, get out of bed, asshole, run the cone drill for me. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. Nobody's junk's popping out, hopefully, this year. No Chris Jones activity.
If your junk pops
Poncho
out,
would have told us
if your junk pops out, you almost guaranteed to be an all-pro at some point.
That's right. What's the deal? I heard a punter was killing it with the bench presses. I hear about Jordan Jefferson. I mean, not Jordan Jefferson. Excuse me, Justin Jefferson.
Honestly, a punter, putting up.
Yeah, who gives a fuck? Exactly. Like, does it really matter?
As long as you could, kick the ball high in the air, that's all.
Hey, he punched 38 yards per pump, but the fucker could lift a fucking car. You know, I mean, who gives a shit?
He said he could. He said he could lift up a defensive lineman if he stayed really, really still.
He bench pressed Malcolm Brown 60 times, but yet he can't fucking stop shanking punts. You know what I mean? Did that happen with Aguayo? Did Aguayo do some crazy shit? What, the Bucks picked him so high that one year?
I don't know. I think he had some nudes of some.
I don't know
guys.
what that dude had. I want to know the people that he knows.
He had a real good party with Jason Licht, and
Jason Licht.
He liked.
Hey, if you ever get a chance, go check out the Tampa Fan when they draft O.J. Howard. If you can find that guy, I had his videos somewhere, but that guy had the best reaction on ESPN. He went ape shit when they drafted O.J. Howard. He started booting up to everybody around him, and everybody's like, what's wrong with this guy?
What was that guy's reaction when they drafted another kicker in the top 4 rounds?
He burned his whole fucking wardrobe and fucking went streaking or something. I don't know.
A lot of teams burned their fanship after that.
It's like what the Bulls did to their fans post-Jordan era. But anyway, Justin Jefferson catching a lot of attention. Had a fucking awesome 40.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying he's going to run a 4.6. That 4.4.
Did he just become a first-round lock?
He became a first-round lock with that.
If that's the case now, how...
Honestly, with him running like that and him being a first round, I mean, everybody knows how good Jamar Chase is.
Yeah.
It may take a little bit of the shine off of Joe Burrow's season when you have two first-round receivers out there. I don't know. I still like Tua, honestly.
Is this the weird thing? But Tua had fucking 3 of the best goddamn receivers, too. I mean, Henry Ruggs and Jerry Jeudy's out there.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, that's the weird thing. Now, I'm not taking that away because I think these dudes could ball. But it's weird that they both were blessed with such great wide receivers.
Well, Herbert wasn't throwing the first-round receivers, so...
Yeah.
Who's to say 10 years from now we're not saying Herbert's the best,
somebody,
quarterback out of this draft?
Or Jalen Hurts,
after everybody's been sucking off the top 2 guys.
I mean, what if that happens? Would it be the craziest thing ever if Tua and Burrow were busts? If this was like, a Tim Couch, Achilles Smith situation.
I will say this about...
I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen. Don't everybody get crazy
I'll say this about the quarterback situation in the last few years. there's less and less bust.
Yeah.
And we kind of know a little bit more about these guys.
Yeah.
Even the guys that are not that good are just not all out and out bust. Like,
right.
Even though I know, instinctively.
I know, Alex Smith's not a great quarterback, but he wasn't a bust.
I know Mitch Trubisky is not good, but he still has like a base